What up, YouTube? Topaz Yates back for another album review, and this time to that Latto 777. But before we jump into this album review, first we gotta give you context. First I gotta let you know what I'm thinking about leading up to this album, so you know how I'm feeling while listening to this album. But if you feel as though you know everything there is to know about this album, feel free to fast forward to this point here. But so who is Latto? AKA Big Latto, AKA Mulatto. Reason for all of the name changes I believe would be the colorism that's attached, but let's face it, most of these weak dudes out here, they purposefully pursue over-sexualized, light-skinned, mixed women, so we get rappers by the name of Mulatto or Asian Doll or you name it. But so Latto is one of the latest ATL rappers that signed to RCA Records, where her last album, Queen of the South, was her breakthrough joint. Her song, Chick from the South, yes, that's the Google Analytic way of saying it, the remix featuring Saweetie and Trina, that went crazy. And then not long after that, Moo-Wop dropped, and that did really well too. Like, I've realized all of the new hits today are now becoming like the remix songs from the 2000s, which is cool because you realize there's like a 20-year gap before you can start bringing back and remaking tracks. Now, I will say this type of female rapper comes a dime a dozen. Content is simply how much money they can get off men because they are so good in bed. Pretty much, it's all innuendo because this was pioneered by Lil Kim, pushed forward by Trina. Can't forget Gangsta Boo took massive strides with Nicki Minaj. Plenty of people were trying to take the torch from there, from Cardi B to Megan Thee Stallion to now Latto. But I will say she is more talented than the label is letting you on to believe. But you gotta go back to underground albums that she was dropping when she was doing more singing. She won JD's The Rap Game back in 2016. As much as people want to clown JD provided a path for a lot of young talent to see some kind of success. I don't have grand aspirations for this album, but I do recognize talent that really don't need to accept DMs in order to succeed, unlike many others that are cluttered within this game. So therefore, I'm kind of excited to hear what she got on this new joint, and now I bring you the album review of Latto 777. As this album is exactly what I thought it was going to be. You know, barely over 2.5 minute songs, full of uninspired and diluted, lackluster innuendo rap. An album that I'm sure people are going to eat up because it's mass promoted and is seemingly giving people everything that they want on the surface level, but not the substance, in which that's what mainstream does for you. They deliberately don't want you to be making songs that make people think or do anything of production. That's part of the formula. As I will say, nothing about this really amazes, but there are a couple tracks in here that I'm going to give a shot to remain on the playlist. But it's songs like the single Big Energy, which is taking the Mariah Carey Fantasy sample from 1995 and turning it raunchy. And I will say, like, that song was too great and memorable to people's childhoods for them to do that to the track, but I ain't hating. I mean, it is what it is. I wish it didn't go in that direction, but it did. And it seems as though people tend to like it, but it's just not for me. A song that we definitely gotta touch on is that Sunshine featuring Lil Wayne and Childish Gambino. One of my favorite songs off of this project. I mean, content-wise, not anything special, you dig, where she's really just talking about how she's shining on people, using random bars, but her singing on top of that production honestly makes it all the way pulled through and ties it together, on top of some solid bars from Lil Wayne. Not like a super fan of the delivery that he used for this one. Some of the things that he was saying, like, yo, the sun's shining on me like Devin Booker, or how he was like, yo, I'ma kick her out cause she thinks she's Latto. I'm all you got though. See, I'm the god, the sun and the moon like Apollo. Woo! Alright, Wayne. While Gambino did okay, I was hoping that he would do much better because I got a lot of respect for Childish Gambino, but this just wasn't for him. The very next song, Like a Thug, featuring Lil Durk, is another song I'm going to try to give a chance to remain on my playlist. A song that, as I said, was going to be like all innuendo, but it goes to show you that these chicks out here, they love the bad boys more than anybody, and they'll do more for them in the bedroom than for any other class of men that's out there. Like the production, I think it's very well put together, but honestly, I feel as though it's songs like It's Given, Willie, Stepper that I feel honestly defines this album as overtly commercialized, uninspired trash, and definitely Bust Down too. And for a guy that likes to DM these chicks saying that their music is trash and they need to smash Kodak, what about Yak? What about Yak? He surely can't rhyme on any of these songs to actually save one. You got songs like Trust No Chick and Southside, where these were supposed to be like her lyrical punchline joints with some production that showcases that, but her bars just leave me unentertained. Now, I was really surprised by that Real One song with the Neptunes up on there. Well, that's a song that's actually talking about something. Well, Latto is pretty much saying that she's turning her back on somebody that she was involved with, that she did a lot for, because they were unloyal, untrustworthy, they did things behind her back, messed it all up. But you know I can't let you go without talking about the bars. As I said, Mulatto, man, is somewhat of the borderline standardized female rapper that's over-sexualized, doing nothing but sexual bars, innuendos all the way through, but yet a lot of these aren't all that entertaining. Your label is putting this much into you. They should be assigning a ghostwriter to you so that you can ultimately get to that point that Nicki Minaj has gotten to lyrically, so that people are more entertained by the things that you say more than you trying to make these kinds of bars that, you know, looks, they fade away, but your career needs to be here for a while. But there were some moments with the bars like, okay, I might leak a tape out and win an Emmy. Talking about an innuendo there, but she'll win an award for if she did something like that. Okay, that was cool. How she said, I treat these dudes like my liquor, none of them's getting chased. Alright. And how she's telling these chicks, yo, you couldn't see me if I was in the mirror. Like, fine. Not impressive by a long shot. Any element of this album wasn't all that impressive. There were moments that I would say you should go ahead and peep out, because these particular songs didn't necessarily need tremendous lyricism, didn't need all that much in order for you to vibe with them. And I think people are going to be talking about this album anyway, because she is a super hyped, promoted type artist in the mainstream with RCA Records. But just not an album that I could really get behind like that. I give it a 4 out of 10.